Well, yeah, this is my house. Remember how I told you guys tons of times that where I'm at down here, it was kind of, the idea was to live right in this stretch of bird because, well, in the summer times, it actually gets really hot down here. But I lived in Wyoming for a little bit, and I said, I'm done with the cold. I'd rather have the heat. And, well, yeah, you get the good heat down here. Not quite as bad as, 5 minutes down the road where you really get in the valley. I'm just starting part of the valley. But I just kept saying, yeah, we don't get no snow down here. Don't worry about snow load on nothing. Ain't worried about much at all. And knock on wood, somewhere. But I'll walk over here quick. Going in the shop right now. Got a diesel heater. Get her thawed out quick so I can get to work. But, oh man, truck door got left open on the wrecker down there. This tent building down here. I figured, I don't get no snow down here. We just get a little bit of a dusting. So I got a long stick now. I got to knock off the snow on the top. The top two panels that are pretty much, they're not really flat, but they're the flattest. Those ones are proven to be, they hold a little snow, but my tie downs are still tight, so it's not sagging it enough to loosen those up. So I don't got that much weight up there. Probably honest couple 100 pounds. So it'd be equivalent to a person or so standing on it. But it's just, every time I say that we don't get that kind of weather around here in a video, it always comes back and gets me. One year I said we don't even get rain. We just work all winter. And yeah, then it rained all dang winter and we didn't work at all for like 2 months straight. And it was cabin fever before I had the shop. I'm gonna go down here and close up this one door because there's actual parts I need in this truck. The other one, not so much. Why is it always a driver's door? Look at, literally it is. Look at that. Driver's door, driver's door, driver's door, driver's door. Oh yeah, I forgot about that swept line. I pushed it down in the bushes. But we got a couple 2 inches down here. This one just got some nice seats in it that are salvageable. And then it's got all my swap pieces. But yeah, no, for a place that just gets a dusting, we got a couple inches here. And it's supposed to keep going. There was nothing here this morning. But then in town is gonna, they're just letting it have it. My dad's old Toyota, brought it down here to work on a couple things on it. And I've been actually driving around. It's driven around in the last week here than it has in the last 3 years at his house. A couple trips to town, this and that. And side by around the property. Still got some good meats on it. And it's got a heater. Well, I just had to come up here and see what it looked like. Top of the hill. Town's about another 4 minutes that way. Decent amount of snow. Normally this is like what we get downtown. It's thick. But this is down the hill. Still thick. Oh yeah. Yeah, cold start, the 080 this morning. Snow is, well, it went to rain last night and then this morning it went to just freezing everything over. It's in the 20s. At like 9 this morning. Oh, what a cheater. Let these rigs run for a little bit. I'll go fire up a couple of trucks just to see how they do. Right, the chipper here while I'm down. Look, I don't know if I showed you the pond in that first video, but she's completely full up. You can go ice skating on it, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where my ducks went. Get my cold starts going this morning. But honestly, ever since Wyoming, these cold starts are kind of sissy, but well, pond's frozen. That's neat. Never seen that before down here in the valley. Hope all the blocks are good on the rigs or the trailer. Oh, didn't think about that. Eve, the PrimeTech has the same exact engine in it, but running DEF. Had that thing kind of strategy posted right over the top of it, so the little flapper thing just flapped its RPMs off of there. Preheat, wait to start. Yeah, boy. 4BT in that rig. Yeah, let's start it. It's been dumping snow for like 4 days. In town's got 2 feet of snow right now. Let's see how this rig does. The common rail stuff cheater compared to this stuff. This is mechanical injection, mechanical lift pump, mechanical battery kick on. Oh, it's frozen in there. How in the heck that happened? There we go. This one's gonna slow motion turn over, I guarantee it. Oh, there's my alarm. There it is. If it even turns. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad I fired it up. A bunch of moisture came out of that pipe. When we first got this thing, that exhaust tip was perfect. And I was sitting on the back of it, pulse on some stuff, and I had my dad's older brother. I told him just turn the turret. Well, he backed the whole machine up and then turned it, tracks and everything. And I knew exactly when he did that. I was like, man, that's probably going to hit that damn exhaust pipe when I cut this. Sure enough, it fell down. These things are actually starting off surprisingly well, considering the driveway black iced. Almost slipped and died 9 times walking down that this morning. I got a 400,000 mile common rail truck up top. Let's go grab my yard gator and go get that bad boy fired. All the cameras, they're all solar powered all around the property. I ain't getting no solar lately, so all the cameras were dead. So I went around this morning and popped all those things loose, cleaned the panels off, and went and put the batteries on the chargers. Wintertime. California don't know what it's like. Forgot my sunglasses. Remember the first time going skiing as a kid? You didn't bring glasses or goggles. You walk back into the lodge, you're like, where's everything yellow? 2RE. I just recently repainted it. Can you tell? This is a rig I learned how to drive stick shift in when I was, I don't know, young. I don't remember how old I was. But I drove this thing right when I got my license for a little bit before I got the Blazer, which I still have, the Blazer. But this thing was acting a little funny for Haas, and he didn't want to drive it for the last like 2 years. And I didn't want to detach my gooseneck or tow the gooseneck home when I was at his house the other day putting the Mechlek together. So I drove this home, put a new alternator in it, painted it, and I've been driving around the property, went to town, got those tires and wheels for the new red truck, which you guys haven't even seen yet. Maybe you have. And this thing's freaking nice. The heater only works on full blast. It burned up the rheostat thing, or whatever you call that. On low one, it starts smoking in the cab. Smells like burnt popcorn in here. But I've been using this thing as a side by. This is the first break in the weather we've had for a while. And like I said before, we do not get snow down here. See a camera up there. Not like it matters. Get a notification as soon as somebody steps foot on the property. So, you know, somebody did come over here and, you know, throw a rock at that thing. Who cares? Let's go up here. Nope, spinning. But anyway, I've been using this thing because it's an enclosed cab heater for running around the property, and I'll grab some fuel jugs or whatever, take down to the shop. And it's warm in like 5 minutes. It's just idling. It's ridiculous. I got a stash of trucks up here. I'm gonna have to like not show you guys some of them. At least one of them. But I want to see the cold start on a high mile rig. Just so you guys can see what a 12 valve fire is like when it's dead cold. I don't even wait for the grid heat. Come on, where's the thing? You can hit the throttle and pump it, give it a little something, but oil pressure just now came up. All right, on the right side of the camera, you can't look at this truck. That's, well, you've probably already seen it on Instagram, but it's a rare bird. But this one here, this is the highest confirmed mile truck I've ever owned. And I believe it's got 427 or something like that on it. Can't get in the other door because I parked that truck too close. I believe, yeah, the keys are out of it. But we gotta hook the batteries back up. I want to see how this thing starts in 20s, because these things are BS. They don't care cold temperature. So riddle me this. This is an 05 truck, which is 05, 04, 03 kind of. 05 and 04, same truck pretty much. There's very little difference at all. And my 04, when I first got it, sometimes you'd open up the door and the windshield wipers would kick over. And so I finally put a new windshield wiper switch on it, and I don't think it's done it since. But I thought, well, it's just a ghost truck. This one actually does it too. So it just tried flipping them off as soon as I put power to it. But let me find the keys, see if we can get this thing cranked. It says 36. Well, maybe warmed up a little bit. Common rails are so funny. This thing hasn't been ran in months. And where's the miles? Got 427. Great oil pressure. I doubt this one will fire off, but this one is said to have 300. And I think on the dash it says it's got 400 and something. But the guy said the gauge cluster was swapped out. This one says 435. I don't think that's right because the dash has been swapped, the gauge cluster. But I don't think this truck will start either way because it needs injectors. But maybe the cold morning will bring her around. No kidding. Damn. Maybe those injectors didn't get saved. You haven't seen the video. Oh, shit. I haven't posted that one yet. Always kind of cracks me up. The folks that live in other states or other countries, they say, oh, that's just a little bit of snow. That temperature's not that bad. You know, like I said, I lived in Wyoming for a minute. Coldest I ever saw on the instrument cluster thing on my 12 valve said negative 47. The little signs on the bank as I was headed to school that day said negative 43 or something like that. And man, that kind of cold is just like, once it gets below like, I don't know, definitely 0, it don't matter anymore. It just sucks. Everything you touch is just, there goes your hand. But my old 12 valve, even plugged in, it took a second to crank, and I just remember thinking, man, that'd be so nice if I had just a little Toyota or something, because I never had like engine temp that whole time that I lived out there, because the truck never get warm. And I ended up putting a windshield thing on the front. What do you call those things? They got actual, like a little blanket goes over your radiator so you don't get the wind going through it as you're driving around. That helped a lot. I actually got a little bit of temperature, but nevertheless, it never warmed up like, you know, a Toyota does. But I just remember I'd go out there and fire that truck up in the middle of school day so that when I went to go home, you know, the class was 9-10 hours, that the truck would start, but it only really start good if I fired it up at lunch and just kind of let it idle for a little while. Warm day, lunch break, driving truck around, keeping it warm since my stupid little generator in the back, they rotted. All those guys, oh, you can't fire up your diesel and drive 5 miles. Man, that's all everybody did out there. Shoot, I couldn't believe it. Everybody was driving a Jeep or something. I was like, man, smart guy there. Those morons were over here driving these diesels running for 5 minutes. But I still remember the first time I seen a common rail, a 3rd gen, sitting at our local dealer. I thought, man, that's a weird looking truck compared to a 2nd gen. And I still remember the first time being out there in Wyoming, seeing one of those old boys parked at the UPS store right next to Boot Barn where I work. Like one of the UPS delivery guys, he had a common rail like that silver one right there, really. And that thing would just sit out there all dang day. And it wouldn't plug in, and I would plug in when I was at work too. So when I would go home, it would, you know, fire right off. And mind you, that's in the negatives. He goes out there and those dang common rails, those things cheap, fire right off. I could not believe it. Just sitting there, static all day, nothing. You go out there, hop in it, Granted, it wasn't making temperature. You still had to scrape the windshield and stuff. But now, these freaking 6.7s with their emissions and stuff, they'll be pumping out heat just sitting in the driveway. Heated seat, remote start, kind of bougie stuff. But I'm very excited this one started. I knew that purple one would start because it's a good truck. This one here, I'm gonna make it a good truck.